In today's video, we're going to make this gorgeous bag. This bag is actually designed by Nicola White, who is Bunny and Blossom Home on Instagram. You may recognize that name because Nicola is actually part of Team Bella Coco, so I'm really excited to share this with you today. This is one of the past designs from a Crochet Society box. Crochet Society is a bi-monthly subscription box where you can get gorgeous yarn, amazing patterns, and also some accessories as well, all together and delivered to your door. It's really exciting to be a part of, and if you want to give it a try, they currently have an amazing past box sale on the website, so head across to crochetsociety.co.uk, and some of them are actually available for only £10, so it's perfect to treat yourself, perfect for gifts coming up to this festive season as well. So make sure you go and check it out, because once those boxes are gone, they won't be coming back. Before we get started, I do want to mention that the yarn used for this particular bag was exclusive to the box. It was a Bella Coco branded yarn, but I'll leave the details in the description box so you can take a look at the yarn details and then find an alternative. Okay, let's get started. For the Dessa Drawstring bag by Nicola White, who is Bunny and Blossom Home on Instagram, you're going to be using colour A, which is Mystic, and then colour B, which is Alchemy. We'll be using a 5.5mm crochet hook, and a stitch marker is optional. It might come in handy for your rounds. So to begin, we are going to create a chain with our colour A. So go ahead, create your slip knot and insert your hook, and we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then we're going to go ahead and join with a slip stitch into the beginning chain. So go into that chain and pull through for a slip stitch. This has now created a circle, and we're going to be working into that center circle. For round 1, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and that counts as our first treble. Remember, we're talking in UK terms. In the US, that is known as a double crochet. So we have our chain 3, and then we're going to do 11 trebles into this center circle. So that's yarn over, insert into that center circle, yarn over, pull through, you'll have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, you'll have 2 loops on the hook, and then yarn over, pull through 2. So that's 1, again, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. I'm going to lay this tail end down as I'm working my way around. So you're going to do 11 of those treble crochets. So once you come to the end of the row, the round, you will have 12 treble crochets in total, because this first chain 3 is counting as a treble. So go ahead, pause the video, work those 11 trebles plus the chain 3, and then meet me back once you're ready. So once you've worked your way all the way round, we're going to join into the top of the chain 3 with a slip stitch, and then we have our first round. So for round 2, we're going to chain 3 and work a treble into that first stitch, like so. So technically we have 2 trebles there. Then we've got a pattern repeat. So we have 2 trebles into the next stitch, and we'll do that 11 times. So we're simply working 2 trebles into each stitch all the way around, and that will take us to 24 stitches in total. So 2 treble crochets in each stitch all the way around. Pause the video, work those 24 stitches, and then meet me back once you're ready. Once you've worked your way all the way round, you're again going to join with a slip stitch into that beginning chain 3, and then we'll move on to round 3. So we're going to start off by chaining 3, 1, 2, 3, and doing a treble crochet into that same stitch, We then want to do a treble into the next stitch, and then we have a pattern repeat. So for this we're going to do 2 treble crochets in the next stitch followed by a treble. So 2 trebles into the next stitch, 1 and 2, followed by a treble. So I'll just show you that again. 2 trebles into the next stitch, 1 and 2, followed by 1 treble into the next. You're going to repeat that all the way round. You'll have 36 stitches in total. So pause the video, work your way round, and then meet me back once you're ready. Once you've worked your way round, you're going to join with a slip stitch into that first stitch. And now we are ready for round 4. For round 4, we're going to chain 3 and treble into that same stitch. We're then going to follow that with 2 treble crochets, so 1 treble into the next 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and then we have our pattern repeat, and our pattern repeat is 2 treble crochets into this next stitch, 1 and 2, followed by 1 treble into the next 2 stitches, 1 and 2. So that's 2 trebles into the next stitch followed by 1 treble into the next 2 stitches. You're going to repeat that all the way round and you will have 48 stitches in total. So pause the video and then meet me back at the end of this round. Once you've come to the end of this round, you're going to slip stitch into the very first stitch. And now for round 5, we're going to chain 1, which does not count as a stitch. And then we're going to double crochet all the way round in this round, but we're going to work into the back loop only. So if we go into this first stitch as normal, you will see the front loop and the back loop, but we're just going to work into the back loop with this double crochet. So remember, that's a UK term. In the US this is single crochet. So go into the stitch, yarn over, pull through, you'll have 2 loops on the hook, and then yarn over, pull through both loops on that hook, and then into the next stitch, just into the back loop only. 1 stitch into each stitch all the way round, so you will again have 48 stitches in this round. Go ahead, work your way around, and then meet me back once you're ready. Okay, so once you've worked your way around, it's telling us to join with a slip stitch into the beginning chain 1, like so, and then we're going to chain 1, and then it's double crochet all the way round for round 6. So go into that first double crochet, we have 1, 2 and 3. So you're going to work all the way round doing those 48 double crochets, and then we're going to slip stitch into that beginning chain 1 again. So meet me back once you get to that point, and then we'll move on to the next round. So once you've worked your way around, you're going to slip stitch into that beginning chain 1. And then for round 7, we're going to chain 1. Remember, you can add your stitch marker if you want to at this point, so you're sure where that chain 1 is, because it can be a little bit trickier to see with a double crochet. So we're going to start off by doing double crochet and a treble crochet into the first stitch. So we're going to go double crochet and then treble crochet into that first stitch. We're going to miss the next stitch, and then we have a pattern repeat, which is double crochet and then treble crochet and then miss the next stitch, double crochet and treble crochet and miss the next stitch. So you're going to work that all the way round until you get to your stitch marker. We're going to join with a slip stitch into the beginning chain 1, and then meet me back once you're ready. So I've just come to the end of this round, and I just wanted to point out that you should start to really see your bag shape taking form now. So what we're going to do now is slip stitch into that chain 1, and then we're going to repeat round 7, but change to colour B in the last stitch. So just as a reminder, we're going to chain 1 at the beginning of this round, mark with your stitch marker, and then we're going to double crochet and treble crochet into that very first stitch. So double crochet and treble crochet. We're going to miss a stitch and then double crochet, treble crochet, miss a stitch, and repeat the same thing all the way around. Now once you get to that last stitch of this round, meet me back and I'll show you how to change colours and then move on to the next section of the bag. Okay, so now that you have worked your way round and you're about to do your last stitch of this round, you're going to start that treble and then yarn over and pull through. But before this last pull through, you're going to take your colour B and pull that through. And there we have our colour change. So you can just put the colour A to one side for now, and we can snip that off shortly. And then you want to go ahead and slip stitch to that beginning chain 1. And there we have our colour change. So what we want to do here is chain 1, and we're going to repeat round 7, which is the one that we've just been doing, 12 times. So that's rounds 9 to 20. So just to remind you, we're going to do a double crochet into that very first stitch, and I'm going to catch the tail ends as I'm working these first few stitches so that I am working them in. Skip a stitch, double crochet, treble crochet, skip a stitch, double crochet, treble crochet. So I'm going to fasten off colour A and just continue to work around it using that pattern. So as I say, you're going to do this rounds 9 to 20, so that's round 7 12 more times, and then we're going to fasten off and weave in the ends. So go ahead, work those rows and meet me back, and I'll show you how to fasten off and then move on to the next step. Okay, so once you have worked your 12 rows, you are going to go ahead and fasten off, and you can weave in those ends. So now we're going to move on to making the drawstring. So with colour B, we're going to create a slip knot, and then we're going to chain 90. So it's yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. That's 3. If you think you're going to lose count, I would suggest you put a stitch marker in every 10 stitches. So go ahead, chain 90 and fasten off. The ends will be incorporated into the tassel. So go ahead, chain 90 and then meet me back once you're ready. So once you've created your drawstring, you're going to go ahead and thread it onto a darning needle. And now what we're going to do is we're going to thread this round. So you want to decide where the front part of your bag is going to be. And then we're going to look at this final row and also look at these pairs of stitches, so the double crochet and the treble crochet, and we're going to be working in between those stitches. So what we want to do is bring the drawstring from the right side to the wrong side and pull it through. So just take your time with it, like so. And then we're going to miss 4 stitches, so 2 pairs of these double and treble crochets, 1 and 2. We'll find the next one, and then you want to come wrong side to right side. So when you put your needle through, try and make sure that you are not catching any of the fibres, and you truly are going in between the stitches. Otherwise you may get stuck, and it will stop the drawstring from moving properly. And you're going to repeat this all the way round, but you're going to leave a gap of these 2 stitches once you work your way around. So now again we're going to miss 2 sets of these stitches and then go right side to wrong side with the drawstring, and you're going to repeat that all the way around. So pause the video and then meet me back in a moment. So we're now going to create the tassels for the end of our drawstring. So you want to have 6 12cm pieces of colour B for each tassel. So you want to cut those and then fold them over. Then what we're going to do is take our crochet hook and insert it into the first chain. Now what I would do here is just wiggle that so that the chain is slightly larger. It will just make it a little bit easier for you. So you go into the chain, fold these in half, and then you're going to carefully pull these through. So take your time with this. Really does help if you enlarge that chain a little bit. So partially pull it through so that you have your loop, and then you're going to go ahead and thread all of those ends through that loop. So just pull it through. You want to incorporate that end as well from the end of your chain when you do this. Once it's through, you can go ahead and pull tightly to secure. And then you can go ahead and trim so that they are all the same length. Like so. So you have 2 tassels. We're now going to move on to the strap. Okay, so for the strap, you're going to be working with 2 strands of B held together. So you might want to unravel your remaining yarn and half it so that you can have those 2 strands together, or just work from the top and the bottom so that you have one solid piece once you have completed your chain. So we're holding those 2 pieces together. We're going to go ahead and yarn over and pull through for a chain, and you're going to chain 175 in total, or the length that you require or desire. So once we have done the chain of 175, or however many you want to do, you can go ahead and fasten off, and then meet me back and I'll show you how to attach. Okay, so once you have done your strap, we're going to go ahead and secure it to the bag. So for this, we're going to work on round 19. So this is 20, this is 19, and we want to count 5 pairs of stitches from either end of the drawstring. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So that's this one here. And we're going to be attaching it to the treble. So I'm going to take my crochet hook and bring through the end here. And then bring it through. and then I'm going to bring it through once more. Like so. I'm going to just pull up that loop slightly that I've just made from pulling it through, and then bring through that yarn to form a knot. I might actually go through once more just to make sure it's super secure. Like so, and then you can go ahead and sew in those ends and then also attach the opposite side as well, which I'm about to do now. So there we go, we're now all done with the Dessa Drawstring Bag by Nicola White from Bunny and Blossom Home. Please make sure that if you make this that you tag Crochet Society and also Nicola from Bunny and Blossom Home so that we can see your makes.